We are officially 50 days out from the WLL Championship Series. But let's talk about the history of pro women's lacrosse and why it's important to remember it. The first league was the UWLX, the United Women's Lacrosse League, launched in 2016. It was the first modern pro lacrosse league featuring national team level talent right away. The UWLX proved that the demand was real, but it struggled with funding, inconsistent pay, and a model that wasn't sustainable long term. There was no business behind it. It was all player-driven, fan-driven. Next was the WPLL. Now they tried to kind of piggyback off the PLL, and they did a touring model as well, and a goal of increasing visibility for women's pro lacrosse. Their branding was terrible. The main problem with the WPLL is that the league relied heavily on a very small number of huge sponsors. When funding comes from just a couple of places, it created this instability. One major brand investment, which was Brine at the time, came with strict equipment requirements. Players were required to play with the Brine warps, and it was kind of terrible, and the players weren't used to it, and it just led to mediocre lacrosse. Now what I've heard is other brands did try to get involved, but the buy-in cost was reportedly way too high, which limited the number of partners they had and diversifying the funding. But despite its challenges, the WPLL elevated the product, grew the fan base, and helped push women's lacrosse forward. We also had the Athletes Unlimited Pro Lacrosse League, or AU, and they changed the model completely. No teams, there was a new draft every week, and players earned points individually. Now, AU offered consistent pay, centralized operations being only in Maryland for 5 weeks, and real financial backing. It gave players stability when traditional leagues couldn't. Now, while it was successful, AU wasn't a traditional league. Fans really missed a team identity, long-term rivalries, and championships. And the WLL now is finally going to be filling this gap 50 days out for women's lacrosse, and I think they've taken lessons from everyone. They've got the business backing finally that I think a lot of the leagues were lacking. You know, the sustainability from AU was huge. Team identity that was lacking with them, but learned from earlier leagues, and a player leadership at the center. So we aren't starting over. This is the evolution of women's pro lacrosse.